Hey there, beautiful lady. Welcome. You are listening to The Stylish CEO, the podcast for female entrepreneurs ready to step into their CEO role and be the face of their brand. I'm your host, Laura Jane, your very own personal stylist and women's empowerment coach. I'm a Nutella and ice cream addict, flamenco dancing Yorkshire lass with over 15 years experience of working in the fashion industry. Each week, we'll be diving into topics that cover style, business, and personal development, as well as guest interviews from leaders within their field who will be sharing their stories and expertise. So go grab yourself your favourite cuppa, sink into your favourite chair, and let's dive into these CEO game-changing conversations. Unlocking yourself so that you can live your true stylish life and glow from the inside out is such a powerful experience. In this episode, I want to share with you who I am and what exactly my journey has been so far, as I have been on a massive journey where I've gained such a deep understanding and connection with myself. So stay tuned and enjoy. Before we get started with today's episode, I want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by my Facebook group, The Stylish Entrepreneur Tribe. This is an exclusive community for female entrepreneurs that empowers them to be as stylish as their brands. If you are ready to up-level within your business, start to become more visible by being your true stylish, authentic self through your personal style, so that you can start showing your potential clients that you are the expert within your field, attract and become a magnet for your ideal clients, and then transform this into sales, then this group is for you. This community is a free, safe place for female entrepreneurs who are chasing their dreams, are fearless and have a desire to show that they are the experts through transforming their image so that they can represent their true stylish self, because they know that their personal style plays an important role within their business because it is an extension of it. If this sounds like you, then head over to the show notes at girlbehindthelook.com/podcast, where you will find the link to the Facebook group. Now let's kick off this episode. Hey there, beautiful lady. Welcome to the very first episode of the Stylish CEO podcast. Now, I'm so excited about this podcast. I can't tell you. This was something that I just really jumped on the bandwagon with. I had this idea about creating this podcast and I really just wanted to run with it. And when I explain to you a little more about my story, you will understand why I have been living in flow for the past 6 months. But now let's get started with this very first episode, which, like I say, I'm so excited about. I can't wait to share my story with you. So the reason why I called this episode The Journey to Destination Unknown is because I truly believe that each one of us is on this journey and we really don't know where we're going to. We have this vision and we have an idea of where we want to go, but really, truly, the universe is completely in control of this. And I think that's what the exciting thing about it is, that we don't know where we're going. We can really envision what we want from our lives, and the universe will provide for us. And as you can tell, I'm very spiritual. I have read so many Gabby Bernstein books. I am part of so many spiritual groups on Facebook, but this has really helped to really unlock myself and get a greater understanding of myself. This is key when it comes to unlocking your personal style, and it's something that I really talk about a lot. And I really wanted to share my story with you because, it might be a typical story that you've probably heard 1,000 times in the sense of, gaining this deeper understanding with yourself. But sometimes when we hear people's stories, it allows us to connect the dots within ourselves so that we then take action and step into our own life and our own journey. So like I said, I'm a massive Gabby Bernstein fan, and she has really helped me a lot to understand who I am as a person. A lot of her books that I've read, I think the big game changer for me when I was reading The Universe Has Got Your Back, which I'm sure you've heard of or you've read it. It is such a powerful book. One of the things that I really resonated with in The Universe Has Got Your Back book by Gabby is the bit where she talks about getting to the airport and finding out that her flight had been delayed for 12 hours. And an hour after waiting, she approached the help desk and she really experienced negative attitude from the attendant that was behind the help desk. And obviously this really got her back up, as it would anybody. And the more she thought about how she had been trapped and the words that had been spoken to her, she kind of worked herself up and got really angry about it. And she went back to the help desk and again, she experienced the same negative attitude and she was getting like really angry and being quite not aggressive. She never explains herself as being aggressive, but she was obviously, her tempo was going. And she, in that moment, realized that the girl was actually mirroring her actions. And that was when I had my big aha from reading this book, because what you mirror in life, that basically reflects what happens in your life. And when you are really negative, then you attract negative things. As you know, the whole law of attraction, I'm sure this is nothing new to you. The whole like attracts like. And I realized that I was spending a lot of my life being really negative to the situation that I was in. And it's from doing this self-development work that I've really been able to unlock the pieces within me that were holding me back from living my life the way that I wanted to live it, from living the life of my destiny. So don't get me wrong, it's been a bumpy journey, but, this journey of the destination unknown is something that we are all striving to get to. And the reason why I always said destination unknown is because I know that I won't be at the end of my journey for another, hopefully another 70 years. But I know until then, I've made this promise within myself that I'm going to continue this journey of self-discovery in order so that I can unlock more things, unlock more doors that make me me. And I really want to help women do that. The thing that I know for sure is that I have a message and I have a gift, and that's to empower women to embrace the true stylish selves. And, I want to help them radiate that inner glow so that the world can see. So the first time that I became aware of this message was when I went to university. Growing up, I'd always been aware of the struggles that my mum and my auntie, my nan had gone through when it came to finding clothes. But when I got to university in London, this is the first time that I really experienced it. So I went to London College of Fashion, where I studied product design and development for the fashion industries. It was such an amazing time of my life, and it really helped to shape me, basically. And it was in that moment that I'd found myself moving away from home for the first time, as many people do when they, leave home to go to university. But I found that I was in an industry that was dictating what was socially acceptable. And obviously, we all know what the fashion industry is like. Now, I'm going back a good 16 years ago. So the world that we're living in now, this present day, is very different to how it was 15, 16, 20 years ago, where, the fashion world was dictating what women should be. Suddenly, I fell under pressure to be a certain size because of this industry. I found myself going into shops to buy magazines and were greeted by headlines about the latest celebrity fad diet that they were on, or that they'd lost X amount of weight. And this, to me, just seems so wrong, really wrong. I'd spent my life watching the industry that I wanted to work in tell women what they should be, that they should be a certain size, and I was determined to change this. plus size women especially were not being catered for by the industry, and they were being told that they couldn't look as stylish or trendy as their thinner counterparts, and that they basically had to wear what I can only describe as sacks. It was shapeless, it was ugly, it didn't complement a woman's body shape, and they were basically being discriminated against because the society that we live in didn't deem that acceptable, their particular size. On the flip side of that, you had magazines telling women that they had to be a certain size and then shaming them too if they were too thin. It was like nobody could win. You were either too overweight or you were too thin and anorexic, and using really hateful terminology like lollipop head and oh my gosh, I can't even think of half of the things, but this really got my back up and it really kickstarted this fire inside of me. And I was determined to make a change within this industry. At the same time that this was going on, there was one brand that was trying to change that. And of course, this brand was Dove. They came up with a beauty campaign that featured what they deemed to be real women. Now, I hate this term, real women, because like every woman is a real woman. But at the time, it was a massive breakthrough for women across the world because the women that they featured in this ad campaign were all different shapes and sizes. It really showed that just because we're a woman, it doesn't say less of us because we're a different shape. And what I truly believe is that, we are all unique. And this is the most beautiful thing in this world because we are so unique. We are not like each other. And this campaign really got my attention. So in my final year at university, I specialised in clothing that doesn't discriminate against women. Basically, I created a collection that was based around body shape and made it really easy for all women of different sizes to identify if a piece of clothing was right for them. So I guess that you could say that I've been championing body positivity for a long time. I myself believe that as long as you are happy and confident with who you are, then that is the most important thing in the world. Fast forward to 2019 and eating disorders are believed to affect 1.2 million people in the UK alone, and in the US it is 30 million. These two equate to nearly half of the 70 million worldwide. Now, this information was taken from mirror.org and is about eating disorders. These statistics really, really scare me. And what scares me more is that we're bringing our children up to be programmed in this way. We are allowing ourselves, our sole existence on this earth, to be dictated by a number on a label, a number on a scale, a number on a payroll, a number in a bank account, a number in the world of possibilities, yet we settle. This is why I know that part of the reason why I am here on this beautiful earth is to make it my mission to help women embrace themselves and all the awesome things that make them beautiful, powerful women that they are. By doing this, they will glow from the inside out and be a positive influence to their children, showing them we are more than just a number. We are worthy of so much more than what society portrays us to be. But the key to this is to get a better understanding of yourself and start embracing every part of you, allowing you to become free and liberated in ways that I can't even begin to explain. Liberation, the word itself, is a powerful one, but when you find liberation, it is such an amazing thing, and often we find that the things that are limiting us as women are actually the obstacles of our own doing. Liberating yourself of these things will allow you to get a deeper understanding of who you are, and once you've done this, you can then build upon these strong foundations and radiate that inner shine. So now my life mission is to help women gain an understanding and connection within themselves so that they can build upon these new foundations that we have laid together. For me, it is about being able to fully understand what you are about so that you can start living a life that involves you being your true self, knowing what dreams and visions that you want to achieve, and then living them with confidence and happiness. As human beings, these are our true desires, to live a confident and joyful life. Like I said at the beginning, I now have a full understanding of this through embarking on and embracing my own journey. In the last 18 months especially, I have been investing time and money within myself so that I can grow as a human being. It is my desire to be the best version of myself and live my life in a positive and inspiring way. This comes from gaining a deeper understanding of yourself. So do something for you, connect with yourself and start embracing who you are, because it is the best gift you can give yourself. Hey there, beautiful lady. I'm interrupting this episode because I've got a question for you. Are you ready to figure out your personal style once and for all and have a bigger impact on your potential clients so that you can make more money? If the answer is yes, then you really want to check out my free ultimate guide to unlocking your personal style. In this guide, I share with you 8 steps that you can implement into your wardrobe today so that you can have more impact with your potential clients. So if you're interested in getting this, make sure you check out my show notes for this episode where you'll find the link to grab your copy. Now let's go back to the episode. So once I'd finished university, I really found myself wondering what I wanted to do in my life. And I kind of fell into fashion buying. And from that, I worked with British fashion retailers, developing ranges within women's wear, men's wear, and I've learned and gained a massive understanding of what this industry is about. So I literally breathe, sleep, dream fashion. It is what is ingrained in me and my soul. And about 4 years after starting my journey within fashion buying, I was really fortunate to live with an amazing woman who was a makeup artist, and she was working on a lot of TV programs. She was doing fashion editorials. She was doing beauty editorials. And one day we got talking in the kitchen of the house that we was living in, and she was telling me all about what she was doing. She had this amazing photo shoot happening this coming weekend, and I was so intrigued in what she was saying. I was like, she had my ears like pinned open, because I never really thought about fashion editorial. I hadn't thought about styling before. And from talking to her, I was getting so fired up inside. And because she could see this fire and this excitement that was growing inside me, she offered to ask the fashion stylist if I could assist her for the photo shoot. And I was like, oh my God, that would be so amazing. And she asked her, and this fashion stylist agreed to it. So I turned up one Sunday morning really early to this fashion photo shoot, not having the foggiest idea what it involved, feeling very intimidated and a bit out of my depth. And I helped the fashion stylist with the shoot. But all the time that she was putting outfits together, I was literally stood there thinking, oh my gosh, well, I would have put that with that, and I would have done this, and I would have done that. And when we had finished the shoot and done the wrap, which was like a full day of shooting, I think we started at probably like 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and I think we finished about 9 or 10 o'clock that evening. So it was a long day. We went home and oh my gosh, I just loved it so much. And from that moment, we just had so many conversations about all the things that we could do to create amazing photo shoots. And from that day onwards, I then started fashion styling. So I was doing this on the side from being a fashion buyer. So about a weekend every month, it eventually became that I was shooting nearly every weekend of each month, but I would be styling photo shoots. And I remember the very first photo shoot that I did. And, you know, obviously I had no contacts with of any designers. I didn't even know what I was doing. So I decided to basically raid my wardrobe, and I started, because I'd had this background of fashion from being at university, I decided to make a lot of pieces for the photo shoot because we was going for the theme of Edwardian birdcage. So I built these massive crinoline corsets using Ridgeline, which is like a boning that you find in bodices. And I did this massive cage skirt. And I remember turning up to my very first photo shoot and feeling so out of my depth once again. I felt like I was completely winging it. But the moment that the photographer, who is another amazing woman, she started taking photos, and as soon as I saw the images coming up on the screen, I was literally doing the happy dance. I was jumping up and down with joy because I was so excited about what we were creating. I was totally in my element. And I did this for many years, and my work got featured in magazines. I were on front cover of magazines. I worked with musicians to create outfits for their gigs. And I worked with brands for their lookbooks. And I had such an amazing time. But I think about 5 or 6 years into doing it, I became victim of this cutthroat fashion industry. Now, I'm sure you've all seen Devil Wears Prada, and you know what it's like. And I basically had a breakdown on this photo shoot because I was working every weekend for about 4 weeks. In the week, I was running around London collecting pieces for the photo shoots, because we basically created this massive epic photo shoot that, looking back, was very ambitious, and we did pull it off. We had about 13 models who each had a theme. So normally when you have a photo shoot, you have one theme that would continue within each image. For each model that we were using a different theme. It was basically themed around the zodiac. So obviously, you've got Virgo, you've got Leo. So each model was designated a certain star sign. So the clothing and the theme and the look and the image that we was trying to create for that star sign was completely different to another star sign that we were going to create. So it was an epic photo shoot, and I experienced bullying, I experienced nastiness, and I just found myself that I just shrunk as a person, and I stopped. I actually let them people win because I stopped styling. Something that I was so passionate about, I let the bullies win. And fast forward 3 years later, I then had what I like to refer to as my mini midlife crisis. And I was really questioning, who am I about? What do I want to do? I found that the values that I was about when I was at university, I completely lost. I was about sustainability. What if we couldn't buy clothing again? What if we could only buy clothes that were second-hand, that are being worn by different people, or we could make our own clothes using recycled materials? So I was having these questions 17 years ago, and I completely lost that aspect of myself. I was about body positivity. My final collection was about not discriminating against women. But yet I wasn't doing anything about it. I wasn't speaking up about it. I wasn't being vocal about the fact that we are all amazing human beings, and it doesn't matter what body shape you come in or how you are packaged. And through lots of self-reflection, I realized that I really was missing the styling. And I then decided that I was going to work with women. I really didn't want to go back to the cutthroat of the fashion editorial world. I wanted to make a difference in women's lives. I wanted to empower them to be their true stylish selves. So that's when I decided to start Girl Behind the Look. And I will save the story of Girl Behind the Look for another day, for another episode. But in short, I rebranded Girl Behind the Look, and I put put myself out there as a personal stylist, and I've been working with women to make them feel more empowered, to make them feel that they can go to their wardrobes and look stylish, not to feel overwhelmed by it, to really gain that deeper understanding with themselves so that they can implement that into their wardrobe and then start showing up as their true stylish selves, the true CEO that they're meant to be for their business. So here we are at this point in my journey where I have decided to create this podcast that you are listening to. So I really am so excited. I've got so many ideas and so many guests that I want to bring onto this podcast to give you these tools that can really help you stand out and make you be successful in your business. I have got a cool question that I will be asking each guest that comes onto this podcast, and it only felt right that I should answer this question too. So the question that I will be asking each guest that comes on is, I believe that we are on a journey in life, and in real life, when we are going on a journey, we get into our car and we put on a playlist that will allow us to stay motivated along the way and get us to our destination. I want to know what your theme song would be for your life journey. This can be a song that has got you to this stage in your life, or can be a song that is taking you on the journey that you are now embarking on. What would that song be for you, and why have you chosen this? Like I said, it seems only fair that I should answer this question too. And the song that I have chosen is Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys. And the reason why I've chosen this song is because ever since Alicia brought this song out, it's been a song that has been playing in my head to get me through each situation that I've been in, each obstacle that I've had to overcome, and each win that I've celebrated. And right now, especially in this moment, I really do feel that I am on fire. I feel like I'm achieving so many things that I wanted to do for so long, and it is such an empowering song. It empowers me to want to achieve more, and it really keeps me going, especially in the hard times, and especially when I want to celebrate them wins. It's a song that keeps me motivated and empowered through each situation that I'm in my life. So the cool feature that I am doing as part of this podcast is that I am creating a soundtrack over on Spotify where each week I will be adding the guest song to that playlist. So this is going to be a playlist of powerful songs that will empower you and become the soundtrack to your journey and to your life, to keep you motivated as you achieve things along the way in your entrepreneurial journey or in your life. And these songs will help to encourage you to step into being the face of and the CEO of your brand while implementing all the things that you are learning from this podcast. So you can head over to Spotify and you can listen to this soundtrack whenever you're not listening to the podcast. And like I say, I just want it to be such a powerful, motivating playlist that really helps you up level within your life and within your business. So you will find the link to this Spotify playlist in the show notes on my website at girlbehindthelook.com/podcast. And I really hope that you have enjoyed this first episode. I have enjoyed telling you my story and my journey, and I can't wait for another episode. So I will see you next week, beautiful ladies. Bye for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Stylish CEO. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head over and rate and subscribe so you never miss another episode. New episodes drop each week on a Tuesday and Thursday, so you don't want to miss out. I would love to hear more from you on what you thought about this episode and the topics that you want to hear. I also want to shout about you and your business, so each week I will be choosing someone who leaves a review or comment to share with the Stylish CEO audience. Check out the show notes at girlbehindthelook.com/podcast for more information. I can't wait to hang out with you again soon. Until next time, beautiful lady, this is Laura Jane signing off.